Good morning, guys. It's Saturday the 11th of the 7th, 11th of July 2020. Hope everybody's staying safe, being practical and keeping themselves out of harm's way as always. Right, we arrived up at the allotment this morning. I got all the birds fed and watered and the chickens fed and watered. And the weather isn't looking too promising either way. And I've got all sorts I really need to get doing now. I've got some onions I need to transplant. I've got some leeks I need to transplant. I've now got some of the cabbages to retransplant. As I showed you in an earlier video, I've got something attacking them now. I need to get out and salvage what I can out of those. Get them into a new bed, slug pellets down and a new net over. I've got that to do. I've got the IBC to set up around the back of the pigeon loft. I've still got the end section of that 24-foot loft where the 7 Staffan Ray cocks are to get completely bottomed out and disinfected. All the nest boxes put back which way they used to be, and reduce that down to 8 nest boxes. And yeah, I've got a lot to do basically, and I'm not sure how much we're going to get done over the weekend. But what I'm not going to do is push myself too hard, because I've found that you're just sicking yourself doing that. So I don't actually know what we're going to get done today, but the first thing I'm going to do is I've just already opened the shed with the ride-on mower. That's going to need to come out again, guys, because this grass is already growing again, and I need to get that under control again. Otherwise it's going to be up around my ears. I'm also going to drive through into the chicken pen today as well and cut that down, give it its first cut, because I'm getting big tufts up here and here, there and everywhere. If I don't put it in check now, it'll just end up a wilderness, and I don't want that. At least it looks semi-tidy once it's being cut. And I don't want the big bushy plants that's in there going to seed, one, throwing it on the garden, and two, taking root inside the chicken pen and just basically turning it to nothing but weeds again, which is what it was when I first inherited this allotment. So the first thing I'm going to do, if the weather holds out, as soon as I've had this cup of coffee, of course I need my cup of coffee first, is get on the ride-on mower and get the grass cut. And then we'll see how much time that takes and how much longer we've got. I really want to, if I can today, get the IBC set up as well around the back, and then get a linking pipe from one IBC to the other. And who knows, even if I have time, I might even get a couple of the rain barrels, tops cut off those, and a couple of those lined up around the back of there as well, because as I say, you can't have too much water. I've learned a hard lesson there. We don't normally run out of water, guys, but this year was being pretty exceptional, and I don't want to be putting myself in that position again. It really is hard work fetching water up from the bottom of the lawn and down there, filling up 25-litre containers and dragging 6 or 7 of them up in the car every weekend, and that's just for the birds. So yeah, I really don't want to find myself in that position again, guys. Right, so enough babbling. I'm just going to have this cup of coffee. Oh, I just want to say welcome to, I've got 1 or 2 new subscribers recently, who've recently subscribed to my channel. Thank you for that. One of them being a guy called Gavin, who I happen to know. I've known him for about 12 months now, and he lives up in Scotland there. So welcome aboard, Gavin. Nice to have you on board. And I hope you follow me along and actually indeed learn something from my videos. It won't always be about pigeons, as I know Gavin is a pigeon fancier, but hopefully you'll find the other stuff entertaining as well, guys. Right, as always, if you're new to my channel, please do hit that subscribe button and follow me along, and then hit the little bell icon, and that will alert you every time I put up a new video. On this channel we basically try to cover lots of different things. I have a growing area converted from wasteland, relatively productive, as you'll see in the videos. I have rare coloured racing pigeons, or some of the rarer coloured racing pigeons. I have fantails. I've actually paired the fantails up as well, guys. I forgot to mention that. I paired them up, I think it was last Thursday. So I've had a few people requesting some youngsters from the fantails, so I decided I'd pair those up as well. Then at least I'm not going to be overloaded with them, and if they do give backward, well, they can always go on the website. So I've paired the fantails up as well. Not only that, it gives me another option if I need to float anything out of the other pigeons. just an update on that one as well. The hen that in total has had 5 eggs on its nest, I left her with 2, and I said I wasn't sure whether they were filling. They are actually filling. They should hopefully hatch. The one we took off that nest in the first place and put it in the frill stencil cock, again, that's full, and hopefully it will hatch. And then last night, I checked on the reduced cock and the almond hen, the other 2 that are floating under them, and one of those appears to be full and the other appears to be clear. So yeah, it should be, hopefully we get the all 4 hatched out and be a bit of a contrast and see if we can get to the bottom of this mystery and see what comes out, guys. A quick update on the youngsters that we've put through, all eating and drinking now, so really pleased with that. Quite a lot of them are now starting to perch up, and of course they've now got free access to the aviary and the Sputnik to have a look around and get fresh air as well. Right guys, like I said, go and have this cup of coffee and get the grass cut. We'll give you a look around later, guys, so follow me along and we'll catch you later. Thanks. Right guys, as you can see, we've got the grass cut again. Now there is still long ends around the edges, as I say, but yeah, we might get the strimmer out later, but the bulk of it's cut. That's the main thing. And I've also got the chicken pen done now as well, guys, so I'll just give you a quick look in there and you can see the difference in here just by running the lawnmower over it, the difference it makes, guys. It tidies it up no end. Like I said, the long ends around the edges, we leave those, and nettles do grow there, but you get a lot of insects in there as well, and the chickens enjoy them. And this area is still a bit bald, but this is where the birds take dust baths, so that's fine. The birds are obviously healthy and happy, as you can see, all running around, and they're picking away at the actual grass clippings now as well, and they'll eat those and they'll pick among them and any insects that I've disturbed whilst cutting the grass. But more importantly, it tidies it up because there was big tufts and nettles and dandelions and all sorts of other foreigners basically planting themselves in there, and they were basically just starting to go to seed, and they would have been dropping themselves all over the place here, guys, and then that would have just had great big tufts. So I do like to keep on top of it. Now that it's had a cut though, it's probably going to need to be kept up with, like this one through here, but at least it's tidied it out now. The hens would do help to keep this back a bit, so it doesn't sometimes need cut quite as often, guys. But yeah, just thought I'd give you a look at that. So a couple of good jobs jobbed. See you later. Right, just back in the shed now, having a cup of coffee. And then while I've got the motivation, I'm going to keep going and have this, and then we're going to go out and try and get that IBC levelled out and put next to the other one and get the linking done today. If I get that done and the grass that I've got cut and obviously all the birds sing to, which I have, I'll be a happy chappy today. Anything more than that will be a bonus, of course. And if we do anything more than that, then we'll bring you along on that and let you have a look. So yeah, I'm just taking it easy, guys. I'm pottering basically, and I'm not going to be killing myself and rushing to get this done, even though I do want the IBC done. Now, along where I just showed you the chicken pen, I don't know if you can see on the video, but on the back side of that fence, there is brambles, nettles for up to head height, more or less. Now, when I first took this allotment on, the entire allotment was like that. It was just brambles and nettles. great big thistles, nettles, and really, really thick brambles. You know, they were well established. And the first year that I had this allotment, I simply cut a hole in the fence once I'd been given this bit of ground. And they said basically, if you can do anything with it, you crack on. And the first year I had this allotment, I remember coming in through that gate that I first put on, and I had a pair of shears in my hand. And I had to come in and I'd literally cut all these brambles down, because that's all I had at the time, was with a pair of shears. So I came in and I had to cut it down in stages because they were so high. So I would clip a bit out the top and then I would move down a bit, and I was literally just making myself a space and moving through the allotment as I was doing this. It was really, really, really hard work. And if someone gave me an allotment like that now, I've got to be honest guys, I wouldn't take it on. But as I say, I've been here 10 or 12 years now, so all that was done then. But I really did cut the entire allotment down with a pair of shears initially. And then I invested in one of those little fly mowers with the metal blade, which was electric, and a little generator. And as all this was in the first year, there was no sheds. I tell a lie. The tin loft, the tin shed, which I've renovated, which was falling down, collapsing, holes in it all over the place, the roof was leaking, and the chicken shed, great big holes in it. There was brambles even growing inside that chicken shed, guys. And what I did was I came along, and as I said, I cut it all, the entire allotment. I would come up every weekend and I would do a little bit. Come up every weekend, do a little bit. By the time I got to from one end to the other, I had to start again, more or less. But I got this little fly mower. It was one of those little mini mowers with a metal blade and a little 750 watt generator. And what I did, once I got it down to a sort of that level, is I hooked up the fly mower, and I was lifting the fly mower up in the air and dropping it down on top of the brambles as I was going along, until I actually got it down to right down flat to the ground, guys. And as I say, for the first 12 months, all I actually did was keep cutting these brambles back, cutting these brambles back, cutting these brambles back, every single weekend. Then in winter I came up just before like the final cut, and I gave it one last cut. And miraculously the following year, what happened was we started getting a lot of grass coming back. And yes, we still got an odd bramble and we still got an odd nettle coming through. Now I didn't burn any of this back, I didn't put weed killer down and nothing. I just simply kept cutting it and cutting it and cutting it and cutting it. And eventually it weakened it, and it must have died back. But needless to say, what you see out there now was all bramble. And it was hard work getting it to where it is now, even though it's, you know, it's not picturesque as some people's allotments are. But it does me. It's practical and it serves a purpose. But it was really hard work getting it to that point, guys. The first 12 months was nothing but just constantly cutting back brambles and nettles. And then the following years, as I say, lots and lots of grass came through. I didn't seed it. It just came back. And as the grass thickened and thickened and thickened, it choked back the other stuff. And I found that just by cutting it back and leaving the clippings on the top, was feeding back into the soil and helping the grass to generate and get strengthened. And that's what we have today. So just a little bit of a story, guys. Sorry I'm rambling on. I'm going to have this cup of coffee and then I'm going to get cracking. I'll see you later if you're still with me. Right guys, we got back outside and got cracking. So what I've done now is I've finished off setting up these IBCs. That's the original IBC there. Now what I've had to do is actually add an extension onto this pipe and then a reducer on the bottom to go back into here. And on there you'll see a bit of builder's debris netting just underneath there, acting as a filter basically. What had happened was is the original filter that we're putting inserted into on the inside of the pipe at the elbow here. It got so clogged up the last time I came up and it was raining, the water was backing up the pipe and pouring out to the top. So obviously it clogs up too easily. So this here is, as you can see, it's a lot, it will filter, but it will let the water through a lot better, guys. So what we've done is we've just put a piece of that in there. Then we've got an extension pipe there. I've had to add a length of straight pipe because this IBC, basically what's happened is it's sunk down with it bulging out at the sides. So that made it drop in height. So then I also had to extend this pipe because it was now way too short. So I've extended this pipe. We've fixed the top in there with a screw and siliconed all the way around that. Likewise we've siliconed the joint here. And again on each of these joints. All siliconed and then screwed. This basically is now settled to the level it's going to be. And we only need to get a little bit more, as you can see. And then it will start running out here and flow down to the secondary IBC, which I now have in place. So we basically leveled an area here, put some blocks down, done a bit of digging out and got that as level as we could, trying to get it somewhere near level, but just slightly, and I mean just slightly lower than this one. And then we've put a fall on the pipe as well. And I've used the thicker proper water pipe that you would use in a house. And I've also siliconed right round here and here. So guys, that's another good job and another IBC setup now. We get any more rain basically into there and we'll now start to fill our secondary IBC. And then what we'll do, I have another tap like this in the shed. We'll fit that onto there. We'll swap the hose pipe over onto there and we'll start to use this first. And only if and when we empty this one, we'll switch back to the emergency barrel. This also acts as a catchment pit and filters out, initially filters the debris. And anything that does make it through will go down and settle as sediment on the bottom of here. Periodically you can now get round here with a pressure washer and when we get them down we can pressure wash them out and start again, guys. So that's the intentions anyways. So again guys, another couple of good jobs jobbed and I'm a happy jobby. I'll see you later. Okay, so I'm back in the shed again now. Just had another cup of coffee. It's 10 to 3 in the afternoon now, guys, and there's probably a bit more I could get done up here if I really put my mind to it. However, I'm not quite as young as I used to be and things are start to get the better of me sooner rather than later nowadays. So I'm probably just going to call it a day for today. I was hoping to at least get the onions and the leeks in today. But I know me, and if I go over there and start that, then I'll start making more framing and I'll start moving the cabbage in. Before I know where I'm at, it'll be 6 or 7 o'clock at night. And I've only had my breakfast. I haven't bought any sandwiches up here today or anything. So I know if I go and make a start on something else now, then I'll keep on going. That's just where I am. So what I'm going to do, I've still got the pressure washer to put away. I pressure washed inside that IBC as well before I set it up, so that's all that done as well. And of course I've still got to put the black visqueen round both of those two IBCs to keep the sun off. That's the reason I put the black visqueen round. It stops the sun's rays penetrating and the algae growing inside. And of course the bleach that I put inside the IBCs also helps to stop that as well. So I'm probably going to do that tomorrow, guys. That shouldn't take too long. And tomorrow I suppose I really need to get those plants in. So yeah, tomorrow's video is probably going to be getting the plastic round the IBCs, getting some plants over in the other grown area, salvage what I can, pull out some that's finished basically, make some more room for something else. and then hopefully that won't take too long. We can have that sort of all done by lunchtime, and then what I'll probably do is I'll do that final end loft where the staff van recocks are. Now it isn't massively important if that doesn't get done this weekend, even it could be next weekend, but I would like to get it done, and then I know that entire 24-foot loft is finished off, and then I can move on to probably the fantails loft, and we'll give that a bit of a clean out. As I say, I've paid those up now as well, so they'll be going down to layer shortly. I might even do that one tomorrow instead of the staff van rig one, because before they start laying their eggs, unless I'm too late and they've already laid eggs by the time I get in there tomorrow. We'll wait and see how it goes. Anyways guys, I don't really know what I'm going to do. As always, you'll just have to come along if you want to see what I do. So for today guys, I'm pretty much going to wrap it up. By the time I put all these tills away and go get myself away home, it's going to be 4 o'clock. So yeah, as always guys, stay safe and keep yourself practical, and keep yourselves out of harm's way as well. If you have just popped along here, new to my channel, please do hit the little subscribe button and then the bell icon on the right, and that'll alert you every time I put up a new video. We do all sorts of different things on here. It isn't just about the garden. It's the garden, the polytunnel, the racing pigeons, the fantails, and then we do DIY projects as well guys. So if you look back on some of my other videos, you'll see things like solar panel projects, irrigation system I put into the polytunnel, automatic nest boxes on the chicken in the chicken loft, and pretty much anything else I'll be doing. Coming up shortly as well, probably before the weather turns, I will be building that other bed over in the growing area and making a raised shelf of some description. I still haven't got clear in my head exactly how I'm going to do this, but I'll probably just make it up as I go along anyways. I usually do. Right guys, stay safe, be practical, keep yourselves out of harm's way, and see you in the next video. Thanks for watching guys, bye.